Hello Confetti Club, it is Pixie, this is Jill, and AI art has been everywhere in the news lately, both in my personal social media circles, as well as on the news we watch and in articles, and I want to talk about it today. So we'll start with a super quick recap of what AI generated art is and why it's been popping up so much in the news lately. If you guys remember, a couple of months ago there was the DALL-E generator that then switched its name to Crayon, which was really popular online. I participated in that one a little bit, where you plug in a little search bar any sort of criteria you like. One I did was marshmallow peeps in the sky, you'd get peeps in the sky. A lot of people were putting funny people on Drag Race because it's a very distinct stage and you could just plop in X character and screenshots of Drag Race, and the generator will pull from a database of many source images, and with a model called Stable Diffusion, I believe, it will mix them all together and kind of try and give you what you've asked for. It's not always a perfect science, you get some pretty funky looking things sometimes, but sometimes it's pretty convincing. I gotta admit, I obviously see the appeal of this. It's fun, it's easy to be curious, you see other people doing certain things online and you think, what if we did that with a slight twist? So I get why these things tend to come in popularity and trend in waves. But AI art has been in the news lately again because there is a new generator from an app called Lensa, and I believe this specific generator that's causing a lot of fuss is called Magic Avatar, and that's because the database of source images that it pulls from isn't just screenshots of shows and I almost said free range images. That's eggs. But this Magic Avatar AI art generator seems to almost exclusively pull from existing art from artists that have not given their consent for their work to be used. This obviously poses massive ethical concerns. I've seen a number of artists online show exactly which pieces of their artwork have been used and mangled and just morphed and changed into something completely different without their consent or knowledge. One of my artist friends on Facebook made this post where they use this site which does a reverse image search, and you can put in your art and see if it has been used in this Lensa app and morphed into something else, and they found their art used with it, which is very upsetting. Another really heartbreaking post on Facebook showed the signatures, which are still there and visible in these finished Lensa Magic Avatar AI art creations, which I'm not sure how many I'm going to be able to show here because I don't want to be promoting and sharing the very thing that I'm criticizing. But all of these images come out with a pretty specific look. This very soft digital art, painted, dramatic, interesting lighting, and often some sci-fi elements. It's very specific. So of course, this wouldn't be able to exist without pulling from a massive database of different art with this kind of similar style that morphs together and works together to create beautiful results. But it is art theft, in my opinion, and I think in most folks' opinion. I have seen the argument here and there that it is transformative because it turns into something else and that this is fair use in some way. I definitely don't agree with that. I definitely think there's some holes in that argument. And for the DALL-E/Crayon AI generator, I see the appeal as well. I will admit, hand on my heart, that I downloaded Lensa. I saw two of my good fashion friends do this exact thing on Facebook, and they posted it happily. They posted a ton of images, they inputted a bunch of selfies, and it shot out these really cool, like I said, kind of sci-fi painted digital art portraits of them. And I thought, that's cool. I'd like to do that. Wow, I'm so glad that I saw that it cost money. It said, okay, cool, free trial, but we will charge you, what was it? Did it say $35.99 or am I making that up? The second I saw that it cost money, I closed the app and I was like, no, I'm not paying money for this. And I do not trust my memory to cancel it before the free trial's done. I'm just not worth it. And I'm so glad I did because this was before the whole wave of people talking about how this is art theft. It's not ethical. I do not blame anyone for not having gotten that memo. There's no reason why you wouldn't believe that this app would have maybe paid some artists to, you know, supply some work to create a database that, yeah, wouldn't be as humongous, but sorry, you have to kind of do things decently and morally, and sometimes it takes a couple extra steps. You want to ask first. You don't want to ask for forgiveness after, which I don't think there's any forgiveness asking. I wonder if there's going to be any repercussions on the actual Lensa app. Can people sue? I don't know. You just need a database of things that aren't stolen from people, that this is their job that they do to pay rent and bills and put money on the table, I guess. Yeah, the ethics concern is mostly in where you're sourcing those base images, but also the conversation of, is AI gonna like take over the world and snatch up all our jobs? I don't know. I haven't always necessarily agreed with that. I love my little self-checkout aisle. I don't mind that. I think, you know, people deserve to maybe like not work those jobs if they don't want to. But with all of this in the news, I also saw a really convincing and upsetting post of people talking about the translation industry and writing and typing AIs. You can type in a prompt and get a script spat out. You can get stories spat out, fan fictions. There's also an issue with like essay writing being able to be done with AI a little bit. And apparently the translation industry has really taken a heavy hit from this because it's a job that can be done by machines. And like, should we be afraid? There are already robot influencers. Like, they could take my job. Robot fashion designer? A Star Trek replicator that makes cute little crop tops? Stevie shared a TikTok with me this morning about this issue where I don't agree with everything this guy says. He does say that he thinks it's transformative, which I don't agree with again. But he talks about how, yeah, it's not this miracle machine that can make anything we want that's the problem. It's the way that our society and the world and people we grind up and discard anyone who can't compete with the miracle machine. It's intense, but like true.
The problem isn't that AI is replacing artists. The problem is that in our society, we grind up and discard anybody who is replaced. This is about to happen to all of our jobs, mine included. We're f***ed. And it's not AI that's the problem. The miracle machine that gives us whatever we ask for isn't the problem. It's that we are punished for not being able to compete with the miracle machine.
And this is really, really comparable to the Star Trek replicator analogy. But I don't know if that's a thing or if that's just something Stevie and I talk about way too much. A replicator is a device from Star Trek which can do what it sounds, basically replicate and make anything you ask it to, physically. So you can be like, I'd like an Earl Grey tea, and it'll go bzzz.
1 pan-fried catfish.
There's also holodecks where you can, it's like a room and you can walk around and it's like VR, but like so much better. We're getting there. I think we're gonna have holodecks, and like we're getting close to having replicators. But if we had one right now, it would not be used for good. It would not be in the homes of everyone to be used to make coffee and simple meals like it is in Star Trek. It would be harnessed and gatekept by Jeffrey Bezos and used to like probably rule the world and create weapons. And like, can you imagine the war if we had a Star Trek replicator? It really is a little bit reminiscent of that idea of like, yeah, it's not the miracle machine that's the problem. It's the fact that we can't play nice. We can't share. I guess that also goes along with the argument of, why don't you want to pay artists? Especially if you're willing to actually pay for this app, why aren't you willing to commission an artist who will make you that headshot? And I know a lot of people say like, you know, portraits like this would cost hundreds of dollars, and it's like, then maybe you don't get a portrait like that. If the only way to get it is to steal it and like hurt artists, I wouldn't feel good. And again, this is not bashing anyone who did it at all, especially if you were not aware of all of this debate around it and where the images are sourced from. Totally not trying to make anyone feel bad. It's just such an interesting conversation. It's also brutal that this is right before Christmas and in the height of this like cost of living crisis, inflation. Like, please pay artists. Can we stop taking every little thing from every little person who's just trying to do their very little best? I would love to know what you guys think about this. It is such an interesting ethical, moral debate. There are so many little alleyways to go down. I'd love to hear if anyone has any thoughts on the Star Trek replicator analogy theory extravaganza. Cause yeah, I just think this whole thing is so interesting, and you know, as an artist, what if they could just replicate little crop tops tomorrow? Oh god. I gotta stop thinking about this. I've gone too far. It's time to wrap her up. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Let's get into this. Let's conversate. I think it's so interesting. I'm trying to hop on more, not like trending topics, but anything that, you know, anything that's a buzz, anything that I'm gossiping about on Twitter anyway, let's talk about it here. So yeah, if you liked this video, if you thought it was thought-provoking and perhaps fun conversation and discussion, maybe share it, maybe like and share. I never actually subscribe, like, and share, but what if you did? What if I said it and what if you did? I don't have a sponsor for this video, but I really want to start promoting my Patreon more. I think you guys may have noticed I've been getting back into my flow and groove of uploading frequently and consistently, and I am really excited to do that as well, even pump things up even more on my Patreon. So I do live streams on there and behind the scenes, sneaky peeks, video upcoming, all kinds of fun stuff, but the live streams I think are the most fun. Patreon really helps us and is a huge part of what makes me able to do this for you as a job, etc. So yeah, consider supporting down there. I'm so bad at promoting myself. This video's Speech Confetti Club member is Prince of the Moon on Instagram. I checked my Instagram tags for once. This art is so lovely. I'm on this very wall. Yeah, this was the look from the wedding dress video. I did that. That feels like 100 years ago. That's so bizarre. I love this. Your art style is so interesting. I love the way you do faces and eyes. I have diamond-shaped eyeball, pupil, irises. That's lovely. Thank you so much for this art and sharing it with me. I love it. You know who I haven't featured on here that I absolutely should for my Pickle Loves segment is the Enigma System on TikTok. They make just the most wonderful, relatable, wholesome, and hilarious content pertaining to dissociative identity disorder, and I just love their perspective. I think they're so lovely. It's so funny. A lot of their TikToks, like, they will make you laugh. They also DJ, which is always fun to see. Sometimes they do it on live. Sometimes they'll like be like, what do you think about that mix? What do you think about my DJ mix? Yeah, if you guys don't follow them already, you absolutely should. So go check them out. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you like this one. I will see you in the next video, which is not this one because this one's over. Bye!